up, guys? My name is Scuba, and this is going to be my first ever editing tutorial. So this is going to be obviously a tutorial about how to motion track using Cinema 4D and Boujou. But for the purpose of, motion tracking, you have to have some sort of software that you can use to convert an MP4 or a cinematic into a JPEG sequence. So if you have After Effects and you know how to do that, props to ya. I don't have After Effects on this computer, but I do know how to do that, and I'm not going to be showing that. So this is just going to be a quick part. So make sure you have your cinematic, obviously. All the parts that you want. This is actually 300 frames. Alright. So we don't really need the audio, and you don't have to get rid of it. That's really up to you. So we're just going to make sure we have our best render settings on first. Turn resample off. I'm in 14, so you guys may not have 14 for Vegas, so you may actually have to go here, right click, switches, disable resample. But so we have best on full, so we get the highest quality possible. Now we're just going to go into here, and I'm going to go onto the desktop and make a new folder, tutorial MT, because we don't want, JPEGs all over the place. So inside of the folder, wherever you have it, this is what I like to do. So we're just going to name this turbine track tutorial. It's long for a JPEG sequence, I know. So you're going to have to go to JPEG sequence. If you don't know where that is, just look for image sequence, go to JPEG. I also have PNG checked because PNG is higher quality and lossless, but for the purpose of this, you do actually want JPEG. So you're just going to render this out. It should only take a couple of seconds, so just give it that time. Alright, so now you can close Sony Vegas. We don't need that anymore. And you don't need to see OBS, but whatever. Alright, so now we are going to actually open up Boujou. We have our folder right here. Sorry, my desktop's a mess. I don't really have a reason to keep it clean. Alright, so we're going to open up Boujou. I'm not going to be showing you guys how to get Boujou or how to get Cinema 4D. If you want those, look them up. It's pretty simple. Though for Cinema 4D, I do recommend getting R14 or a higher, level, and get the full studio, not just body paint or something. Alright, so in Boujou, I don't need two of these open. You're going to go to Import Sequence, go to this little drop down, go to your users, and I'm just going to go to desktop because that's where I put mine. JPEGs, click on the first JPEG, click open, and I like to change my frame rate to 59.94 because that's what I render and record everything at. 60 FPS is the best one, so you can do that, or 59.94. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, so just do that, click apply, change your frame rate to the frame rate of the movie itself. Now you are going to come down here, you'll see this is your entire clip. It should look exactly how it did in Sony Vegas. Now it's just JPEG sequence. And you're going to go to track features. This is pretty simple. I always turn my sensitivity all the way up so I can have more tracked points. Do not check fast tracking, because that's going to make it so the points are not tracked perfectly and they're not aligned, so it may, not actually be motion tracked. Just gonna slide a little bit. So we're just gonna, let this happen, and I'll be right back.
Hey, doorways open up, yup, more cake. Soon enough the sweet turns sour, more court dates. We burn it down though, and just live it up. It sucks ass when they ask about a living trust. I don't have one, cause I don't have shit. And when I do, I'm probably gonna just stash it. It takes time for the interest to make sense. It makes sense for the linguist to invest. I've been blessed with the brain and some rhythm. Those hairs too square, I'm the tortoise and I'll win it. Come.
Alright. So, before we actually go any further, I need to tell you guys this is obviously a time-consuming process. Not so much you doing a lot. It only takes about 20 minutes of you actually doing work with any of the softwares to make a motion track look good. But sometimes it does take a very long time to render out the images or the, AVI. and that is if you have a really high quality motion track. So like what I do, I have shadows and ambient occlusion and all that stuff, but most people won't. So I'm just gonna show you the normal way. I use a Lightroom instead of a 4D, but you don't have to use a Lightroom. It just makes it look better. Anyways, so you're going to click Camera Solve, and now look for Optimize Camera Path Smoothness. That's all you have to click in here. Click Start. This should go a lot faster than the track features. It'll be done, in a couple of seconds. Just give it some time. Sometimes Boujou may seem like it's gonna crash, but at the end of Camera Solve, if it has all of these points, it has a crap ton of points it has to smooth out. Alright, there we go. So now you can see all of our points are tracked, except for like, alright, I don't know why I said except. So first, before we can export this and just pop into Cinema 4D, there's one or two more things we have to do. And what I like to do is go right here to Scene Geometry. Everybody has to do this no matter what, but I always have 3 coordinates. Most people only have 2. So what I like to do, go somewhere where it's the middle facing you. Add a coordinate from hint, and now you're going to change this type to x-axis, which basically means it's left to right. Okay, so we're gonna have to choose a point that's left to right. Say right here. So you click that, then hold Control, and just move around your camera to make sure certain things are on the same part of the image. Like right here, hold Control and click that. And now connect to selected, update coordinate frame. Now we have to add another one, which is the z-axis, which is going to be our depth markers. So we want to find the right depth, obviously. We can just use the roof for this. And what we are going to do is just find 2 points. Say this one, if that is lined up. If I'm correct, yes, that's a roof point. So that one and this one. Connect to selected, update coordinate frame. And then I add a third one. This is my personal preference. I think it makes motion tracks look so much cleaner. Alright, so you're just going to find a random point in the middle of everything. Say right here. Connect, update, close. And this is a way you can check. Add a test object. If it flows nicely, like this, it stays in place just fine. That's how you know you have a good motion track. Alright, so now we're just going to export camera. Find your folder. And name it whatever you want. And you can leave that how it is. We're going to change that down here. So don't change any of this stuff, but go to export type and change this to Cinema 4D. And now what you're going to do is change the scale scene by, and then put it as 100 and save. I'm not going to save this Boujou project. I don't think that's really important. You guys can just watch this part again if you need it. But I will save the Cinema 4D part. So we're just going to open this and open our Cinema 4D. Let this all load up. Now you're going to change your scale to 5 inches. Yours won't be like this. Yours will be on like 1 centimeter or something. But change it to 5 inches and then click OK. Alright, and now the very first thing you need to do, create a material. Open the material to edit it. You can do that by double clicking down here or right clicking down here. You can right click or go to create. Personally, I just double click because it's so much faster. And now go to texture in this area. Just click that bar. Yeah, this is all here from when I motion tracked for editing the montage. Alright. Go here, JPEGs. Pick the very first one. Do not create one because that's not important. Now you go to animation, calculate, and you should be good. So now what we want to do is go right here, left click and hold, and go down to background. And you're just gonna drag this onto it.
Here we go. Freestyle Friday number 9.
And as you can see, our grid flows with it. It doesn't move, it stays how it's supposed to stay.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me
Stretch this out so we can get the entire thing. There we go.
Oh, just let me
Alright, it's actually a really fast, simple process. This one I did, I don't know if it's too perfect because I didn't really line anything up. I didn't take too much time on it. But it should be decently motion tracked. Alright, so what we want to do next is, if you don't have a Lightroom, just create motext. Alright. And it will create text or spawn text right there. And I'm just going to change the parameters of this. I don't know why I said parameters. We're just going to make this look better, basically. You can change the depth using this if you don't know how to do that already. I'm going to make mine 50. As for the spacing, I like to make my horizontal spacing quite tight. Just about like that. And for this, you can do left, middle, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. And now, go to caps, change this to fillet cap, change that to fillet cap. I like changing this to 100 steps, and I'll change this to 3.7. No, I said 3.7. There we go. Alright, and then same for this, change this 3.78, change this to Alright, so now we need a material for our text itself. I'm just gonna create faster because I don't want to drag my motion or my Lightroom in here.
Freestyle Friday number 9. Thanks to Ratatat for letting me steal their beat. It's very kind of them. They're nice guys. Anyway, happy Easter weekend, I guess. I'm about to go up to Philly. I'll tell you why I chose this beat. I was driving around, it was real sunny the other day. It made me feel like it was like a Sunday morning after church as a little kid when my pepper used to buy me and my sister Slurpees. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome in my thoughts.
That works, alright. Just drag that on there. You can do a pre-render by pressing this button. See, it looks alright. It's not going to be the best. Like I said, you don't have shadows and everything. That's what Lightrooms are for. They make them so much better. The Lightroom I use is Mango's Lightroom. If you want to use that, Synergy Mango's. If you want to use that Lightroom, you can go buy it from him. It's like $3 or something like that. I don't know. But after you have your text and everything, this is not, you know, it's not your simple area, I guess. I don't know why I'm saying simple area. We just need to change our render settings. So we are going to change current frame down here to all frames, or preview range. It's up to you, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as all of your frames are in the preview range. And now we change our save settings. I like to do this separately because if you go into something like this, if you have bigger text and it's behind this and you want to mask it out, you can render the text as a PNG itself and then import the background JPEG to make, or MP4, to mask the text to make it look decent. But right now I don't really need that because this text is just here. And I'm just going to change this text to something else. Let's see. I don't know. Okay, let's do tutorial for the text, and you can move that over. Don't worry, it's not going to cause any harm. Now I'm going to duplicate it. I'm not going to do a tutorial on how to mask. I'll leave that to you guys. I'm hoping most of you already know how to do that. So see, like right here, that's where we would be masking something. And in situations like these, I like to turn off the camera and rearrange my text so it all fits together nicely. this one, and I'm just going to scale this down. If you plan on making text smaller, I recommend using the scale tool instead of going through here and changing the height, because if you change the height, it's just gonna, it's not gonna look very good. I don't know why, it just doesn't have the same effect as doing scaling, because scaling changes all parameters. Changing the height just makes it smaller. Alright, so let's just put this up. What I'm trying to do here is I'm just going to make this fit the tutorial. And there we go. Alright, so we can turn our camera back on. And as you can see, everything is motion tracked. I saw that wrong. Yeah, that last frame is rendering now. So it's in situations like that where we just change this to 330. Not 300, 330. Don't be dumb. 330. Okay. And then we go to our render settings, output, and change that to preview range. Alright, so we have all of this. I'm just going to save this real quick. Go to save. We're going to change this to either PNG or an AVI movie, QuickTime. Doesn't really matter, it's completely your choice. If you're going to mask things out, like I said, what you want to do is just remove the background. So don't click that stuff, just click on it, click delete afterwards, and you can just render out the text alone. But if you're going to do that, make sure you go to output, or not output, save, and check alpha channel. That'll get rid of all the black area behind the text. Alright, so we can change this. I'm just going to do AVI.
March 17th, and I haven't even had a drink yet today.
Go to our folder.
Let's see here. West Virginia University advances in NCAA bracket past Clemson 84-76. Okay, congratulations. 41 minutes ago.
There we go.
Let's see, is there anything a little more?
Just gonna let this render out. It's gonna take some time, but it's not gonna take as long as, you know, a high quality one would take.
I'm supposed to be doing paperwork all day today.
Say if you had shadows and all that stuff, it would look a lot better. But you know, I can't really put my Lightroom in here, because if I do that and I give you guys the project file, you'll have it, and then that's sort of pirating a Lightroom, I guess. So we're just gonna render this out. You do that by clicking right here, and it will start rendering everything. And I'm just gonna let this do this. It's gonna take a while. Hopefully not too long, since, you know, this is already a lot faster than my normal motion tracks, since I have ambient occlusion, global illumination, and all that stuff in my render settings. It usually takes a good 2 hours to render a motion track that's only 7 seconds. That's because of how high quality the text is and everything. But, yeah. So I'll just let this do its thing, and I'll be back when it is done. Alright guys, so we have everything rendered out and everything, just to show you that it did render out properly. AVIs don't generally run very well, and P4s are a lot more smooth. Which is why I don't generally render motion tracks out as AVIs. I generally render them out as PNG sequences. You can see it all goes smoothly, it all motion tracked. So it's just a matter of knowing what you're doing and spending some time on it. There it is. It's going to be a little glitchy because it's an AVI. So I recommend just rendering out as a PNG sequence, putting it into a new folder, and then putting it back into Vegas and rendering it as an MP4. I know it's a lot of time, but it does make it look very good. Anyways, there's that. So I hope this helped a couple of people. If you have any more things you want to know about Cinema 4D or, you know, editing in general, I'm happy to help. So there's this. If you guys want me to make another tutorial like CCs or effects or something like that, I'm down for it. But with that being said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Scuba, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.